Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today I'm playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So with this one, I'm playing against the Wood Elves with the Skaven, and it's a bit of a tough one. It can be a bit rough. So basically, what I've done is I've decided to go with mostly Storm Vermin, because I find Storm Vermin are very good at dealing with sort of any of the Wood Elf infantry, because they've got a lot of armor, and they're not very good at dealing with armor, so it's pretty handy. Also got some halberds. I don't know why I put them in the same line here. That's kind of weird, but I did that. Also got clan rats with shields on the sides to soak up some arrow fire, and I've got the usual gutter runners with poison and other two gutter runners. Also, I've got a Plague Priest. He's been stripped down completely. It's just with the Plague Furnace. So again, he's got a lot of armor on this thing, and also he can, hit leadership. He's got the anti-infantry, the anti-armor. He's just a bit of a nuisance, really. So that's all I want him for. And the Mortis Engine effect, obviously. Also, I've got a Warlock Engineer. Again, he's a bit stripped down. I do have the Howling Warp Gale on him, just so if he does bring a Flying Lord, I can pin him down and start peppering him with the the gutter runners, and also these gutter runner slingers that I never really bring. I thought I'd give them a go. Yeah, they could be fun. I mean, they got snare nets, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so I decided to give them a go. But yeah, the Warlock Engineer I think is quite useful. I also brought those missiles because I never bring them. But again, he's got the Mortis Engine effect. So having the armoured front line that won't buckle and a load of different Mortis Engine effects in the front line, it means any infantry will really struggle. Also, I've got Lord Skrolk. Again, he's just a fine pick, isn't he? So leave Bubonica to be good for killing sort of big units. So whether it be a Lord or something else, great. He's also got the the Rod of Corruption, which again, big AoE, damaging effect, which is really good. So, and, he's got the magic attacks, he's got the leadership debuff when he hits people. It's pretty great. And that's my army. So it's a bit small, and yeah, if he goes with a very kitey build, a lot of cavalry maybe, he could just smash, these different pockets pretty quickly, I think. But he's gone with a build that I was not expecting, but I'm also kind of terrified of. He's gone with Ultrikin, so these guys are just as survivable as my front line is, but he's got a load of Wildwood Rangers for a load of armor piercing, so these guys will cut through Storm Vermin pretty happily. And he's also got some Eternal Guard on the side, so again, some missile resist on the sides, same plan I had. But yeah, they're pretty useful. Got some good armor piercing, anti-large, pretty handy. But in the middle, this is terrifying. He's got Durthu, he's got a Branch Wraith, and he's got a Treeman, and he's got a Forest Dragon. So he's got some really heavy hitters. So I think his plan here is basically just to have the Treekin hold, have a very small, sort of hardy force basically, while he's got some very high damaging things. So and there's a sort of a mixture of the very hardiness and the high damage with the Treeman and Durthu. So it's very scary. So I'm going to move it along, because as you can see, we really got fighting quickly. So I will move my gutter runners up. I was expecting like some cavalry or something. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. So here, stupidly, I'm shooting the Eternal Guard with them, which is the worst thing they could be shooting at. Anyway, Skrolk is going to get in here. Obviously with his magic attacks, he's going to ignore the physical resist of the Treekin, which is pretty great. But this is looking a bit rough. Luckily, I do have my my Storm Vermin over here, so they're going to be really useful. With halberds, so they're going to be really useful for dealing with the Treekin and the Forest Dragon. And hopefully, these Wildwood Rangers won't be able to kill too many of them. Amazingly, here the Eternal Guard and the Clan Rats are actually trading fairly evenly, which is pretty crazy. I think some of it was the Mortis Engine effect was tickling them for a bit. Yeah, I think it's doing it again. So that is actually helping the Clan Rats beat Eternal Guard, which is pretty cool. So my front line really struggling, really struggling. Well, I say that this front line is pretty much just the Warlock Engineer and the one Storm Vermin. The rest are in these engagements. But still, that's scary. Barely done anything to Durthu, barely done anything. Oh, actually, the Branch Wraith, I did leave a Bubonica, so I want to get rid of the Spellcaster early, because I know Treatment will basically last forever if they're able to get healed. So I wanted to kill the Branch Wraith as quickly as possible. So here, get some Plague Monks, they're going to charge in here as well. So Skrolk, he's doing fine in here. The Wildwood Rangers are getting very injured, which is good news. And again, over here, the Clan Rats are actually beating the Eternal Guard, which is crazy to see. So here, getting a load of damage on this Forest Dragon, because he's a great target for all of my slingers. So I'm going to be hitting him, because he doesn't have much armor. Actually, he's got 50 armor, which is pretty low. So his leadership is really getting affected as well by the Plague Priest and the constant missile fire. Over here, I get my Scorch from the Plague Priest. It does actually hit most of the Eternal Guard and none of my Clan Rats, which is pretty great. So I was pretty happy with that, because that's hard to aim. Because the free Scorch you get from the Plague Priest, it comes from the base of his model. So it's difficult to aim, especially when he's swinging about like that. Ooh, so that was very cool. Not a great hit on that though, which is a real shame. So here you can see my warlock. Oh no, my plague monks are running away. They're the summoned ones, so that's fine. So here I did want to keep chasing the forest dragon until he shattered, and he has shattered, so now I can switch targets. So I still want to get rid of this branch wraith, because I don't want him to heal up. But, you know, over here he's still got the treeman, he's still got quite a lot of treekin here. And I believe the Wildwood Rangers are still holding in there, 80 models, which is very scary. But, you know, I'm hitting them with a lot of, you know, withering effects, which is pretty great. So I try and charge clan rats in the back, but I forgot about them for a long time, so they just sat there. So by the time they ran in, they'd taken too many losses, just because they're a summoned unit, broke. But it's fine, because I have managed to break these Eternal Guard. So over here you can see the Branch Wraith is now really suffering. I'm going at him with a Storm Vermin. He's using the Sword of Death on top of my line here, which is really going to hurt all my Storm Vermin. So here I'm using the Clan Rats to keep chasing things off. And I'm getting some sustained fire on some of these guys. I am going to send one of my Night Runners to chase this Branch Wraith indefinitely. So over on this side you can see the Treekin are really struggling now. The just constant hits from the... what's he called? Skrolk, who's over here. I did pull him out for a second because the treatment was after him. But yeah, the constant hits from him have managed to do a lot of damage. And also the Warlock Engineer, no, he's just got the withering effects, which will help, but still. So now, in this big blob, I've got a load of halberds, but, you know, leadership's a bit poor, but I've got a lot of halberds. I've got these guys firing at him, so I'm going to be able to poison Durthu, and I'm hitting with the leadership debuffs whenever I hit him with this. So I get some good damage on Durthu now, and that Branch Wraith isn't coming back, so he's not going to get any more health back. So although he's got a lot of armor, then these, you know, hits aren't going to do too much damage. It's going to add up, and there's nothing he can do about it. So that's pretty great for me. So so there you go. He uses a Flock of Doom though, so he's doing a lot of damage to this stuff. I use a Scorch, not really sure why. I had it, thought maybe I'll tickle that treatment, see what happens. But here, just with the sustained fire on Durthu and this leadership debuff that he keeps getting hit with, he keeps teetering on the edge here. So you can see when, you know, this guy registers a hit and when it's been a while since he's got a hit, because his leadership is all over the place. Now though, the treatment is coming in as support, but I've got a real gaggle of enemies here. And I've got a load of units just running around trying to keep everything else at bay. Unfortunately, these Treekin have come back. Those Treekin will beat the Clan Rats at some point, but that's fine. It's not a problem. So over here, my Storm Vermin are coming back in, and I have managed to break Durthu, so I'm going to be trying to chase him off. And also the treatment, you know, being attacked by Lord Skrolk, the Warlock Engineer, and the Plague Priest, and all this other nonsense, he's pretty overwhelmed at this point. And yeah, a lot of missile fire as well. So I'm trying to chase down Durthu a bit with these Storm Vermin. Luckily he didn't block them with the Treekin, which is perfect for me, but leadership is not good for these halberds. If Durthu does come back, these guys might terrify away immediately. So I'm trying to keep my gutter runners on him to keep some pressure on him. And over here, yeah, his treatment shattered, and since Durthu hadn't come back yet, it's just too many losses for him. And that was a close victory. I kind of wasn't expecting a victory out of this one. When I saw his army, I was like, I don't really have anything that can damage them. But that's kind of the thing with a sort of a tree-heavy build, is they don't have a lot of damage themselves, and the Forest Dragon, if you can take him out early, that's a big damage dealer, but he's pretty squishy. So I was able to take the Forest Dragon out pretty quickly. 44 kills isn't a huge amount for a dragon, especially against Skaven, you know, when they have so many cheap units, and you got breath attacks that can land in the dense formations of Storm Vermin. It's pretty rough. Durthu, absolute trooper, 169 kills, which is awful, but I managed to get rid of the Branch Wraith really early, so none of these guys could get any healing. And when you got so many elite things, you really want to be able to heal stuff. So you want that Earth Blood from the Branch Wraith to be able to heal this stuff up, because it's going to keep them going for so much longer. And yeah, when you're up against Skaven, yeah, they can have a lot of very high armor, you know, armor-piercing things. If I brought a couple of what are they called? Poison Wind Globadiers, something like that, this would have melted, I reckon. It would have been very rough. But with the weird build I brought, this is definitely not a meta pick, by the way. This is definitely not. I was just lucky, I think. You know, just to be able to sustain the amount of damage I did and keep going, you know, with the high armor and yeah, I basically had nothing that could pressure my Night Runners or Gutter Runners, which was a huge help. But it was pretty bizarre. I was surprised I won this, truth be told. I didn't think I'd be able to kill this stuff, but it worked out pretty well. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.